to talk about fear versus obedience. All I'm saying to you is that if you give your ancestors a fruit cup and they got all that sugar in their body and they hyperactive as fuck, give them something to do. Okay? Give them something to do. Pray to them and ask them to assist you on helping you to get a job. Because a lot of y'all need jobs. And if you have been praying to your ancestors and you haven't gotten a job after like 3 months and you're like, it's not working, then you need to apply to even more jobs than you did before you were asking your ancestors to help you, because they expect a lot of work. So that being said, that's what working with your ancestors looks like. Giving them commands so that they can use the energy that they consumed, or else they're going to get fat and have spiritual diabetes. So, what is the difference between fearing your ancestors and being obedient to your ancestors?
Well, one is based in ignorance and the other is based in intelligence. You should not fear your ancestors, but you should obey them. The trouble that I have with that question and presenting it to this audience is that, as you said, people are not actually working with their ancestors. They don't actually have a clear enough connection with their ancestors to even know who they're talking to. They don't even have a clear enough connection with their ancestors to know what the ancestors are saying and what it is that they expect from them. And so I hesitate, to tell them to just obey whatever spirit comes through their Ouija board. But if you in fact know that you are in communication with your ancestors, it's very important to do what they tell you to do, because it's for your greater good. I mean, it's just like as above, so below. So just like as a child, you would obey your mother for fear of consequences, whether it's a spanking, whether it's, mama is really wise, and if I don't do what she says, my life is probably going to be fucked up in some area. If that's the way you have to view it, or whatever the case may be, just understand that it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of love and compassion for your ancestors to cross the veil and to communicate with you. And so if they take the time to actually do that, and if you're fortunate enough to actually have that experience, then you must also be noble enough, intelligent enough, grateful enough to follow the advice that you're given, I think.
The difference between fear and obedience, and I always speak from the experience of working with clients. Fearful clients are those that are fumbling with putting water on their altars. A fearful client is more afraid of their ancestors than they are of the manager at their job. And that is the most asinine way of approaching spirituality, because your ancestors will ally with you even over the stupidest shit that you would want. I've literally seen people ask me, can I be with this man? And I'm like, yes. Well, how do my ancestors feel? They gonna rally behind you because they some idiots too. And then I'm like, you really need to go to a deity that's got a lot more wisdom and astral experience than your ancestors. But we were just talking about pay grades and, going to the manager versus the cashier and all the other stuff. But anyway, that's for another day.
I have something for that too. I want to add to that, or on those same lines.
So, fear. You don't need to fear your ancestors because they literally always have your back. Blind loyalty most of the time. And which is why they'll eat their fried chicken, but Barone won't. Someone that's obedient to their ancestors focuses more on their achieving their temporal or their real world goals and using their ancestors to mobilize resources to help them do that. They it's literally like, my ancestors said to do this and I'm going to do it. And it's, again, blind loyalty. And you are able to build up a trust in them because you did it the first time, you took that first leap of faith and found out you had wings and you could fly, and you continuously do it, and the next thing you know, you're across the Grand Canyon. Those that are fearful never even take that leap of faith, okay? They're too busy worried about stupid shit like, is the cloth correct? Did I get it right from Hobby Lobby? Or, did they accept this offering? How do they feel about it? They don't give a fuck. They just need to be fed.
Thank you.
They just need to be fed, and they need to be tasked with things, because at the end of the day, you You are the living person, and you cannot allow them to live through you because they
will try.
They will try.
They will try.
And they have succeeded, which is why you see a lot of people over on YouTube going the fuck crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
What did you want to add?
What I wanted to add was this is another reason why I am so sold on tradition. Because, you guys, I was going to try to pull up something. There was a chart that someone sent me in a text. And it basically just showed you how many ancestors you have, you know. For example, you know, I have my parents. The first generation would be my parents, you know, and that's 2 people. Then if I include the grandparents, that's now my parents, which are 2 people, plus my father's mother and father, plus my mother's mother and father, and now that's 6 people. And for every generation, that just compounds. And so by the time you get to, I think it was like 20 something generations, you have over 1 million ancestors. And I really enjoyed seeing that chart because it really put it in perspective for me. So again, going back to tradition, the reason I am really a proponent of tradition is because you don't just have your ancestors, you know, your uncle them that passed when you were little, or your grandparents. You have ancestors that go back to the beginning of time. But we don't know how to tap into those, how to tap into that ancestry, how to tap into that body of prestige, of power, of protection. And these traditions give us a gateway, a methodology to do that. You guys wouldn't be so worried. Tell them. You wouldn't be so worried about people hexing you and doing things to you if you were tapped into your ancient ancestors. If you knew how many people walked with you and you were sure that they did, you had done what you needed to do to make sure that they did. If you knew the power that lies in the spiritual realm for you, you wouldn't be worried about somebody hexing you or somebody giving you the evil eye or your neighbor. You just wouldn't be worried with the minutia.
So, for those of you that were involved in the Christian church, or you're a reader of the Bible, you would know that when God outlines the way that God defines a godly marriage will do 2 things for you. It will do multiple things, but 2 of the things that I know for a fact that it has to do: protection and provision. Mm-hmm. Because if you are obedient, not fearful, if you are obedient to the relationship of marriage, you will be given protection and provision through your partner and through God. Yeah. Because when 2 or more gather,
I will be in the midst.
Therefore, if you're developing a relationship with your ancestors and you're focused on being obedient, you will automatically be given protection and provision. Therefore, you don't worry about curses and hexes.
Yes, you don't have to worry about it. And I don't know if I was clear, because I get so excited talking about the ancestors. But the point that I was making is that when you deal with these traditions, especially if you initiate into these traditions, it just gives you access to so much more. You can work your ancestral altar, guys. You can talk to your auntie Nim and your nanny and your, you know, grandma, even many generations back. But the Egungun, which are your elevated ancestors, it takes a little bit more to get into contact with them. But I can tell you, and Quinn, you remember when I actually did my initiation to become an ancestral priestess, I received a male and a female ancestor, among many others, but I received a male and a female ancestor. They came to me probably days after that initiation. A completely life-changing experience. Nexo actually had the opportunity to experience my journey with them. And I shared many, many messages that I received from them with him. And I think we both were in awe with the accuracy and just the prolific nature of what they had to say about what was going on in my life. It's a gift, you guys. And so for those of you who feel like you can do everything by yourself, I would just urge you to consider, you know, really putting yourself in a position to tap into what is actually your inheritance, what is actually your birthright. which is the ancestral knowledge that's built into these traditions that we're snubbing our nose at.
Brilliantly put. So, I wanted to talk to you about how do you deal with a client how do you deal with clients that get free readings and they say you weren't accurate?
My clients don't get free readings. That's it.
That's all you have to say?
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well, anytime somebody gets something for free and they can go and complain about it and do it behind people's backs and shit, just know that the spirits will always come back and they want their karma and they will collect tenfold. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Just leave that there for those of you all that think I'm not authorized to do celebrity psychic readings. All right. Anyway.
Hey.
We will leave it there. So, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Sophisticated Sunday with me and Osun Funke. We hope that you all have learned a lot. Thanks to those of you all on YouTube who've been watching live while we do these shows. Thanks to those of you all on Patreon who continue to support us as we grow and expand this business. We'll see you all later. Oh shit, well, do we need to plug you real quick before we wave?
No, it's okay, but I'm not going to do a reading, huh?
I thought we were going to do another show.
Oh, we are going to do another show. Okay, fine.
Okay, all right. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye. You asked me to pray, so I'm praying right now. Would you please join me at this moment to give another reading to broadcast so that your voice may be heard and people may gather understanding and strength from your wisdom. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. Alafia. I am Reverend Priestess David Divine, and I am here to do a reading with you today. We are going to ask the ancestors, what is it that they have to say about social media and internet-based entertainment sites as it relates to spirituality. Remember, we are spiritual people. We are on a quest for ascension and evolution. And so everything that we undertake is to that end. So I'm going to ask the ancestors right now what it is that they have to say about people utilizing the internet and social media for spiritual growth. And I will share with you guys and also with the ancestors so that they might hear me. I'm thinking specifically about people who are using the internet to circumvent traditional initiation. People who are using the internet to find out information about deity and Orisha, so on and so forth. People who are communicating with Babalawos across the water and purchasing Orisha pots and all other manner of foolishness that we know exists in today's climate. So what does the ancestors have to say about social media and internet-based entertainment as it relates to spirituality? The first thing that stands out to me, you guys, is the danger stone. And this stone landed on the crown chakra. Okay? So they're saying, you know, this is dangerous for your crown. This is dangerous for your Ori. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful the information that you transmit. Be careful, you know, your Ori feels like this is dangerous. Okay? We also get the quarter, which represents big spending. Or a situation that is costly over the message, all right? So this is saying the message here is that this is going to cost you. It will cost you if you utilize social media and Facebook and these internet entertainment sites as a method for your spiritual growth. It's going to cost you, okay? We get the open cowrie shell, which means that the ancestors are speaking, as well as the eraser over the tile for foolishness or for the clown, okay? So it's saying you guys need to stop being foolish. The ancestors are saying that you guys are being foolish, that this is a foolish undertaking to think that you can circumvent the traditional initiation process by going online to learn Ifa, to learn Santeria, to learn Vodun. They're saying that it's foolish. We have the anchor here over the tile for meditation. The ancestors are saying that you need to be anchored in meditation, anchored in prayer and meditation, you guys. If you were in fact anchored in prayer and meditation, then the ancestors will be speaking to you. They will be giving you those messages, and you would not have to look to an online community for that information. We have the skull over Obatala. So this is talking about wisdom is dead. Wisdom is dead in this undertaking. Okay, it's not wise, it's not smart, to look to the internet, to look to Facebook, to look to social media as a way to circumvent the traditional initiation process. We have the open cowrie shell over questions. So this is saying that not only do the ancestors find it questionable, this route, but they're also speaking here to our love of questions. And we are aware of what happened, to mankind following the tree of knowledge, right? And so it's this love of information that is leading us down this road that will not pay off for us. We have the beetle over. We have the beetle here indicated over the sacral chakra, okay? So this is talking about creativity. And so it wasn't upside down, which would indicate that it was dead, but it's kind of on its side. So it's saying, that this is a creative method. Okay. So they're acknowledging that you guys are trying to be creative and that you're trying to get it done, but it's rooted in a chakra. It's not a high vibration. Okay. And actually, it's also indicating an infestation in the sacral chakra. It's indicating an infestation as it relates to desires and as it relates to trying to create situations or bring things into existence. And it's just saying, that you're infested. It's not going to work the way that you hope. We have the stone for transformation over the finish line. This is so deep because it's saying, that you're not actually going to grow. Your transformation will finish if you feel that this initiation is going to take you where you need to be. You're not going to continue to grow. You're not going to continue to evolve. You're going to stay stuck in that place because you haven't even attained what it is that you paid for. You haven't even attained what it is that you set out to attain. Your evolution is finished at this point. So if you go online and you pay to become a babalawo, instead of actually studying and growing and toiling and learning and evolving into that priest, you're going to give these people your money and you're going to stay stuck right there thinking that you've gained something that you have not. Does that make sense? What else do the ancestors have to say? Interruption of destiny. So we have a cowrie shell indicated over the interruption of destiny. I mean, I also think the Riverstone basically said the same thing. Your evolution is you're not going to evolve. You're not going to grow past this point because it's not a real process. Your evolution, your evolution will stop. It's an interruption in your destiny. Okay, and then we have a nickel, which represents a small investment over the dream catcher. So it's saying, your intention may be pure. This may be something that you've always dreamed of, but you're making a small investment. You're trying to cut corners. And it's not going to work out for you. You're not going to get what it is that you want. Okay? And then lastly, we have Olokun weighing in here, and we have this pebble, which actually, this pebble actually represents, oh, how do I say this? Let's call it a fraction. Let's call it a piece. Anything that, if you guys know anything about Olokun, you know it represents the wealth and the abundance of the ocean, the sea, but not just abundance like how we think of Oshun, you know, the abundance of the river and fresh water. Olokun is talking about what's hidden, what's deep, what's beyond your wildest dreams. And it's saying, you know, that this is just a pebble. You'll only get a fraction. You're not getting what you deserve. You're not getting what you're entitled to. You're just getting a small piece of it. And that piece only serves to satisfy your pride. Okay? It's not what you really have coming to you. It's the least of things. Okay, taking this route. And with that, the ancestors have spoken. I hope that you guys have found this this particular reading helpful. If you would like to book a reading or a spiritual counseling session, please click the links below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. What you say?
You want to do another question?
I can do another question. I just wanted to close that out in case, you know, you could stand alone. Are we live too? Hey, y'all. What's the next question?
What was the one that you had asked before? I can't remember.
I don't remember it either. What was it? That question was about people using the internet to circumvent traditional initiation processes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one, I'll just ask them, what do they think about?
Then they say, what do they think about the internet?
The internet in general, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Entertainment in general. You know that I've done a video about social media and these sites actually becoming gods in our modern society. And so I just want to have the ancestors weigh in. So I'm reaching out to my ancestors, not just those who are recently transitioned, but my Egungun as well. And you guys know that I am an ancestral priest. So let's see what the ancestors have to say. The question that we are asking is, what do you guys think about social media and internet-based entertainment as it relates to the spiritual community? Okay. The first thing that catches my eye is the danger stone, and it lands on the tile for now. At this time, the ancestors feel that it is a dangerous time. I don't think that needs much more explanation. Wow. We have here the boar's tooth, which represents a trophy over the tile for witchcraft. Now, when I did that video on social media and I did that video on internet-based entertainment, I told you guys that you were participating in a spell, and you were participating in a spell that you did not cast. The ancestors are saying the same thing, but not only are they saying you're participating in a spell, but they're saying that your head, your soul, is the trophy of the witches that cast this spell. I hope y'all hear me. The next message from the ancestors is the open coward, which means that the ancestors are speaking, and it's over karma. So they're saying that you guys are going to get exactly what you deserve dealing with these sites. Okay? I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just telling you, you know, the law of cause and effect exists on the internet as well. So if you're one of these people that we have talked about in previous shows, if you're one of these fake babalawos that's coercing people to initiate with you online, if you're selling Orisha pots online, if you are part of a virtual coven and you're doing spell work against this person or for that person online, you're going to get exactly what you have coming to you. Okay, that's what the ancestors are saying. We have the dime over questions. So they're saying, the dime represents a monetary investment. They're saying that you guys have so many questions, you're willing to pay for answers. You're paying for answers. But what worries me, just based on what I've seen already in this reading, is that you're paying for these answers, not necessarily with your money, but with your soul, with your spirit. You understand what I'm saying? You're paying karmically. Okay, they're speaking about karma. You're paying for these answers. You're paying for this information. We have a nickel over the tile for betrayal. Okay, again, the nickel represents an investment. A smaller investment, but it's still an investment in betrayal. You guys are paying to be misled. You're paying to be misled. That's what they're saying. You're paying for misinformation. And I don't think that this should come as a surprise to you at this point. We know that there are predators in the spirit community, just like there are in any other community. I know that I have been contacted by babalawos online. I know I have been contacted by people claiming to offer spiritual services that I, unsolicited contact. So those of you who are actually falling for that stuff, they're saying, that you're paying to actually be betrayed. Okay. Wow. We have the beetle, a scarab. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we have a scarab here, and it's over the tile for toiling or for work. The scarab represents death. Okay. They're saying that you guys don't want to work. Work is dead. You guys don't want to do the work. You want to log on and get the answer. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to sit at the hem of an elder's garment and learn things the way that we're supposed to. You don't want to do the work and pray and meditate and let the answers be revealed to you in due time. You want to log on and get the answer. And so your work is dead. You're not putting in the work. The next tile we have indicated here with my tiger's eye pebble is communication. The tiger's eye represents creativity. So they're saying that, it's a creative way to communicate. Absolutely. They're kind of almost applauding our ingenuity. Yes, it's a great way to communicate. You can absolutely communicate with someone who across the ocean. You can absolutely communicate, with people that you wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to. That's not the issue, you guys. It's not the issue. It's the fact that you're being caught up in a spell that you didn't cast. That's the problem. It's the fact that you're not considering your karma. That's the problem. It's the fact that you're paying for betrayal. That's the problem. It's the fact that you're willing to pay any amount for answers. That's the problem. Okay? Then we have the quarter, which represents big spending, represents a lot of money. This quarter was placed equidistantly. It landed equidistantly between the finish line, meaning your money will finish, okay, and the hand that's overflowing, someone who's giving too much, who's giving all that they have. So the ancestors are clearly saying here, your money is going to finish. If you continue to do this, if you continue to look to the internet or to use the internet the way that you're using it, remember the question was in regard to spirituality, you're going to invest more than you have to give. You're giving these sites too much time. You're giving these sites more than you have to give. You're giving them too much, you guys, and I already told you that. We have the skeleton over the third eye. It goes along with everything else that I've been saying, which is basically you guys are not using the tools that you have. You're not praying. You're not meditating. You're not listening to the ancestors. You're not receiving information through spirit. You're not using your third eye. You're logging on to Facebook. You're joining a Facebook group. And the ancestors have spoken. So I hope that this was useful information for you. If you would like to book a reading or a spiritual counseling session, please click the links below. Thank you for joining me today. Peace.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the sky.